All right, guys. How's it going out there? Uh, Wanted to talk to you guys about separation anxiety, big time. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jeremy Majors. I am a dog trainer out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I mostly work with aggressive, fearful, reactive separation anxiety, basically the tough ones. And I wanted to come on here and talk to you about lately what I have observed. Um, I'm always evolving, trying to learn more. And as years go on, this is my 18th year working with dogs. And as years go on, I do learn more. I pick up on patterns and commonalities that I see every time I talk to someone. I ask the same questions. Um, I I spend a lot of time on the phone with people, really digging in, diving deep, and trying to again um, become sure that I can help. That's the goal. If I do hear things that are the same, then I know that I can help you because I've helped dogs with those same things. Okay, so 9 times out of 10, your dog is not special in the sense of the issues that it's dealing with. Top two issues, well, I'll say top three: leash aggression, territorial, and um, separation anxiety. So I'll say that again: leash aggression, leash reactivity, which means your dog's on leash, sees other dogs, sees other humans, um, and sees anything and just reacts on leash. Number two, territorial reactivity or aggression. Your dog is on your territory, sees another dog, sees the humans, sees kids, sees bikers, bark, 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 bark. Okay. And then again, number three is separation anxiety. But what if I told you that all of those things are starting to become clear to me that they're all connected? So I want to talk about a little bit about separation anxiety in specific, because again, I think I need an updated version every at least once a year, where I have fresh ideas, um, just again from learning from all of the people that I talk to. All right. So one of the things that I have learned, and I think people can be proactive about if they know this, is that retrievers are pretty notorious for separation anxiety. And again, this is just me thinking about what the calls that I've had to deal with lately. A lot of retrievers with separation anxiety. And I think the retrievers struggle with separation anxiety because they become so happy. They're like one of the most cheerful, joyful dogs when it comes to when they see their person. And I think that has a lot to do with why some dogs just can't wait for that moment. Um, they can't wait until their owner comes home. So, first and foremost, separation anxiety is not natural for dogs. They do consider you their pack, and in a very natural setting, um, the pack never gets separated. Um, they kind of stay together. So, on some level, it is unnatural, and we do have that has that's something that we do have to teach them. So, I want to give you some tips on what to avoid, because I was just at a house with a young lab, 6 month old lab, and then I was on the phone with an ex client of mine who got a new dog, another lab. Both had separation anxiety. Plus, I just had a dog that was probably one of my toughest separation anxiety cases in a very long time. So it's fresh on the brain, and I want to again express those details. All right. So, again, number one thing to look out for is that anticipation. When you come home and you open that door, whether your dog is in a crate or whether your dog greets you in the home, if it's greeting you with If it's greeting you overly excited, and you engage with that dog, you are feeding into separation anxiety. You have validated this dog's feelings of, oh my God, you're here. Thank God. I'm so glad to see you. Blah, 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 blah. Endearing, I know. Makes you feel good. I know. But you are feeding into um, the separation anxiety because you're acknowledging that it is a big deal that you have been gone and that you're finally home. And a lot of dogs, again, build up such an anticipation of when their owner gets there because it's such a big event that they can't handle um, they can't handle the thought of not being uh, um, around you, or they can't wait again until you actually do come home. So you will have to address how you come and go. You want to make sure that you come and go. You coming and going is not a big deal. Um, and for my crate people who have dogs that are in crates that salivate, that destroy crates, that pee and poop in crates. Number one thing is real quick that you do have to teach your dog to become calm in the crate while you're home. The only time you're putting your dog in the crate is when you're gone or when you're leaving. It is a bit of a drastic change for the dog. So crate your dog while you're home so you can coach the dog through those anxiety impulses. Because what seems to happen with some anxiety dogs is they'll hear a sound that re-triggers their anxiety when they're in the whether they're in the crate or whether they're at home. Uh, Something as simple as the UPS man can trigger it. Delivery guys, construction guys, even people just walking by, sounds of any sort can re-trigger anxiety in your dog if you haven't properly coached your dog through those impulses. Um, so you have the opportunity to do that when the dog is home and the dog is in the crate. If you don't want to do it in the crate, it's still the same thing when it's free roam of the house. If your dog is overreactive, territorial, chances are your dog can have separation anxiety because, again, doesn't know how to handle things that go on day to day, like dog walking by, human walking by, UPS, this and that, without triggering a big response. Bark, 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 bark. All those things create anxiety that will drive your dog to do what it takes to get to you or to get to a quote unquote safer place. So do not allow your dog to be over territorial. That will help with separation anxiety because you then will again help the dog deal with those impulses that trigger the dog's reactivity. Remember, I told you that they're all connected. Reactivity and separation anxiety to some degree is all connected. Okay. Tip number two, do not allow your dog to follow you around the house. Allowing your dog to follow you around the house is allowing your dog to be over territorial, but also feeding into the separation anxiety. Dog's almost like, I'm not letting you out of my sight because you haven't taught me properly how to deal with being without you. And some people take that as endearing. Oh, he's following me around the house. It's cute. But again, if your dog is having issues inside the house, one of which separation anxiety, then you do not want to allow that. The other reason why you don't want to do that is, again, aggressive dogs always follow their owners around the house. Okay? All right. So we have getting the dog to become calm in the crate. Number one. I can't see my finger. There we go. Number one. Number two, don't let your dog follow you around the house. Number three, do not let your dog ask to come inside when it's outside. Or do not allow it to be an event. It shouldn't be barking and scratching um, to beg to come back inside. You want to develop your dog's independence, and you also want to make sure that you could potentially be squashing any insecurities that the dog would want to come back inside for. So what I mean by that is some dogs will get insecure outside, bark, 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 and then want to come back inside for safety reasons. But again, it is our job to show them that the world that you put them in, the situation that you put them in, the environment that you put them in is safe. It's our responsibility. So my approach would be, if there's nothing to worry about, help them get to that realization. All right. So again, separation anxiety involving the crate. I want to give you one more thing about the crate. Do not allow your dog again to become high energy in that crate. That crate should represent calmness. And so you will have to add boundaries to the crate scenario in order to get your dog to become less anxious. And that is the best way to do that. So that I've found so far is to make sure the dog is doing something for you that it has to do without treats, which is something as simple as sit. The first sign of anxiety for a lot of dogs is they'll stand up in the crate looking at you, and then they'll pant, whine, bark, and then obviously scratch and do all that kind of stuff. But give your dog something to do. Give your dog direction when it's doing something it shouldn't be, to help, again, alleviate some of that anxiety. Give your dog something to do that it has to do. If you can get your dog to down, that would be optimum. But the dog must be doing something, again, while you're home, so that you can get the dog, you can recondition the dog that the crate is something to relax, an environment or a place that it should relax. And it is okay to be away from you on a day-to-day basis for a little bit, giving that dog some autonomy and not allowing full access to you all day long, especially for my stay-at-home folks. Pretty important. All right. That will make them more independent and less reactive, less aggressive. And obviously, the separation anxiety will help as well. All right, guys, that's kind of all I wanted to touch on. I did want to just correlate that the reason why a lot of retrievers are prone to separation anxiety is because we all know that they're super enthusiastic about saying hi to us, and we must control that. We must balance that out. Wait until the dog is outside to do your celebration, but don't make it a big deal that you've been gone. Don't make it a big deal that you are going. And then in the middle of the day, sometime, put the dog in the crate and allow the dog and coach the dog through those impulsive anxiety triggers. All right. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching, and you'll see me soon. Take care, guys.